Medical assistant. A medical assistant is also known as clinical assistant or healthcare assistant. In the US is an allied health professional who support the work of physician or physician assistants and other health professionals, usually in a clinic setting. Medical assistant is certified through an accelerated program. Now I will discuss the different skills necessary for medical assistant, skills and abilities. Medical assistants are versatile professionals called on who perform task ranging from drawing blood and checking vital signs to managing patient records and setting appointments and everything in the between. As a medical assistant, you may perform primarily office tasks or mostly clinical tasks or a mixture of both. That means the skills medical assistant are incredible numerous and varied. Are the few of the most common skills. Number 1, good communication skills. Medical assistant must be active listener in order to understand accurately record patient issue and specifications. They must also be capable or clearly articulating instructions to the patient and effectively communicating information, both written and spoken to other healthcare professionals working with the patients. And number 2, organizational and clerical skills. Most medical assistants have some office duties, from answering the phones, scheduling appointments, to maintain patient files. Being highly organized is critical, and clerical skills like typing or filing are helpful. And 3rd, medical knowledge. Medical assistant should have a good working knowledge of medical terminology, anatomy, and basic procedure like drawing blood or dressing a wound. Knowledge of first aid and CPR may also be required. And 4th, knowledge of safety and sanitation. Medical assistants should be aware of personal and patient safety at all times. Understanding on and practicing safety and sanitation protocols is essential. 5, computer skills. Being comfortable with using computer is necessary for variety of administrative tasks, especially as many healthcare practices are adopting electronic health records. Computer competency is the one most important medical assistant. And 6, computer service skills. Remember, the first patient or customer who select the practitioners based on quality of care and service received. Treating with safety and respectful is essential. Now I will show you the short clip video about procedure used to access vital signs, and enjoy!
Stephanie, I'd like you to rate your pain for me, 0 being no pain at all and 10 being the worst pain that you've ever felt, which would be sticking your hand in boiling water. Where are you at right now?
Like a 6.
Okay. Exactly how would you explain this pain?
Oh, I feel a lot of pressure in my stomach.
It
hurts.
Okay. Pretty good. This is an oral thermometer. This is one of the more convenient routes to take temperature. Make sure the probe is placed firmly under the tongue, then have the client close their mouth. The thermometer will beep when it's done. The machine can also be used to take axillary temperature.
This is a tympanic thermometer. It measures core temperature and will be about a half a degree higher than the oral temperature. Be careful when inserting the probe, as it can cause pain if inserted incorrectly.
There are 9 options for taking a pulse: radial, brachial, carotid, temporal, femoral, pedal, posterior tibialis, and apical. Use light pressure and never use your thumb. Count for 15 seconds and then times by 4. Count for a full minute if the client has any irregular heartbeat.
Place your hand on the client's chest or on their back when counting respirations. Count up to 30 seconds and multiply by 2.
So here we're going to be conducting a palpated blood pressure. Place the cuff on client's arm, ensure it fits properly. Next, using either the brachial or radial pulse, pump until you can't palpate the pulse any longer. Remember this number and then add 30 to it. Alright, so now we're going to be taking the auscultated blood pressure. Again, ensure that the client has the cuff placed correctly. Pump up to the number plus 30 obtained during palpated blood pressure. Slowly release the bladder. Now listen for the first thump sound, which is the systolic pressure, and then listen for the last thump sound, which is the diastolic pressure. At this time, release the pressure and remove the cuff. Place the client's finger or toe inside the clip and turn on the pulse oximeter. Wait until numbers are stable. Record oxygen, which is the number on top, and the pulse, which is on the bottom.
And I will show you the short clip video and again about communication to patients. Then enjoy.
My philosophy is that when I've met with the patient, say for the first time, that at the end of that meeting, they know as much about their disease as I do. And I try to reach that point in our first meeting. In other words, we gather up the diagnostic information. Hopefully they've been worked up fairly extensively before they actually come to see the specialist. And then we run through the implications of all that. My goal is that they have a deep and broad understanding of, 1, the disease process, and 2, the likely treatment pathway ahead of them. Most of the time, we have another family member or members present at the discussions. The value of family members, apart from the obvious value of fellowship, moral support, the major value is it's almost like a second opinion, coming from someone who's a little removed from the emotion of having a cancer diagnosis. So that person who's a family member is sitting there, they're listening to the conversation, and they'll come back with questions to me, or they'll ask questions of the patient that I would never have thought of and the patient would never have thought of. So they're a third pair of listening ears that are critical to, should we say, fleshing out and rounding out the discussion, again, to get to that point of greater and greater understanding by the patient of what they have and what their treatments will involve.
And next, I will do a short clip into academy and uncaring. Handling medical records and security, proper behavior, attitude, dealing with different medical environment. And enjoy!
Electronic health records, privacy and security. Today, more and more of your health information is being stored on computers. Many of these electronic records are created by doctors and hospitals, and they offer plenty of advantages. Doctors say electronic health records make finding and sharing information easier, and for patients, that can mean reducing medical mistakes and getting better care. Whether your health information is maintained in a paper record or an electronic health record, you have the right to keep it private. And that privacy is protected by a law called HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. HIPAA requires that certain healthcare providers keep your electronic health records private and secure. These providers will give you a notice of privacy practices that describes important rights and protections of your health information. Here are a few of the methods these providers may use to protect your health information. Healthcare providers must have access controls, such as passwords or PIN numbers, to look at your records. This means that only doctors and nurses with the right password can see your information. Your records may also be encrypted. That's a way of scrambling the information so it cannot be read by others. So if a laptop is stolen from your doctor's office, no one should be able to read your information. These providers may use software programs that can record every time someone views your health information, what time a person looked at it, and what changes were made. This audit trail makes it possible to track exactly who's reading your records. If you think your health information has been used in a way that's not legal, you have the right to file a complaint. Know your rights. Visit the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights at
Thank you for watching. Bye.